Yo, it's TheGIBBYNATR, and after a solid week of playing Blackout, I'm sitting at 35 wins, and in that game time, I've noticed a lot of bad habits that noobs have picked up. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking them down and giving you some tips on how to avoid making these mistakes that noobs do. So yeah, let's get straight into this. The first mistake that I've noticed noobs making is incorrectly using healing items. So for example, someone could fall off a building and deal 2 damage to themselves, and then to heal themselves back up to 150, they would use a med kit instead of a first aid kit. Now, first aid kits are definitely the choice you want to use when you're only healing a small amount of health, because they give you 25 health. However, med kits actually heal you for 50 health. So obviously, if you only need that 2 health to heal, it would be smarter and wiser to use a first aid kit rather than a med kit. Another mistake that I see people doing med kit wise is that they never have them like equipped in their inventory. So they always have like bandages. Now, obviously, if you get into a gunfight and then you get damaged and you want to regenerate your health, if you have med kits equipped, they'll be the first things that are used up. And obviously that's great because you're going to be able to heal up to max health faster than you would using first aid kits, because it actually takes a second to use first aid kits, so it takes 2 seconds to use med kits. However, there will be a slight delay between using first aid kits, which will add time on. So it's much faster to regenerate to max health using med kits than it is first aid kits. So always have med kits equipped to your character when you have them, so that you can heal to max health and allow you to win gunfights way more easier. Another thing I see noobs doing is not using trauma kits when they pick them up. As soon as you pick a trauma kit up, unless you've got 200 health, in which case it wouldn't let you use it in the first place, I recommend using a trauma kit because it's going to add 50 health onto your character, so you'll be sitting at 200 health instead of 150. I see a lot of people that just save it up until they get damaged and then use it, but that extra 50 health that it gives you when you use it, when you're at max health, will literally be the difference between winning a gunfight and not winning it. So to keep you in the game, use your trauma kits as soon as you find them. The only exception for this is if you're at like above 170 health, I wouldn't recommend using a trauma kit, but if you're below that, then definitely pop it. The second mistake that I see noobs making all the time is wearing damaged armor. Now, in the bottom left hand corner of your screen, there is a health bar indicator for your armor, and a lot of people ignore that. In the beta, it was just a picture showing you how it looked, and from that you could gather whether it was shot up a lot. And honestly, I see so many people where they're literally wearing armor that looks like a crop top. It's been shot up so much. So it's just being wary of that. And like if you're wearing a level 2 armor and it's completely shot up, always consider swapping it out for a fresh new level 1 body armor if you find it. However, if you do have a level 3 body armor, I would recommend keeping that even if it's shot up, just because you get the headshot protection. And headshots in Blackout are pretty much the vital thing to winning gunfights. If someone shoots you in your head, you're going to get absolutely melted, so having that protection is vital. The third mistake I see noobs making is picking up random perks that they're never going to use. For example, ones like Brawler. Brawler literally will never help you ever, and the chances are you'll never use it. So that's just wasting a spot in your inventory, which could be used to hold an extra grenade or a useful perk like Dead Silence or Awareness. So in the beginning, when you're looting buildings, be careful about your choices when you're picking up perks. Don't pick up useless ones, because you'll regret it when you have to go into your inventory in the last couple people to switch something out that's taking up a space, to switch it out for something more important at that point of time, and then you just get stressed out because you're having to do all this messing around, and then you'll most likely get killed and you'll be really annoyed. So just be smart, keep your inventory nice and clean and organised, and don't pick up random useless perks. The fourth mistake that I see noobs making all the time is using a vehicle when it's unnecessary. I would only recommend you use vehicles to get into the zone or to get away from people if you're being shot at real bad and you just need a fast getaway. For example, if you came up on like a whole squad and there was a choice to get onto the back of a quad or something and just drive off, that would definitely be acceptable. But I see people just getting into the vehicles when they're in the zone and they're just driving around. The vehicles are so noisy in the game and they just literally bait you out to the enemies. The only exception really would be the helicopter. I mean, it's kind of good, but when it comes to it and you're in like the last 5 people and you're just in the air in a chopper and then you come gliding down, you're not going to have like the most advantageous position. Everyone's going to be in like their nice little spots on camping on rocks and like out on the high ground, and you're basically giving that away by being in a helicopter. So yeah, just think about your choices when it comes to vehicles. Don't get into the truck when you're in the last couple of lives, because you are going to bait yourself out so hard. And when you're in the circle, just stick on your feet. You're going to be so much more quiet. Obviously you're going to be a bit slower, but if you're always conscious about where the next zone is going to be, you'll always make it to the next zone without needing a vehicle. The fifth mistake that I see noobs doing is healing while standing still. You can actually move in Blackout whilst healing, so you can sprint, slide, do whatever, even if it's just a small little movement left and right, forwards and back. You can just do that whilst you're healing. That's going to make you a much harder target to hit than someone that's just standing still or crouched. So just think about that. When I like to heal, I'm always like running to cover, I'm sliding behind things, I'm jumping up and down. I'm just trying to make myself the hardest target possible. The sixth mistake is very similar to the previous one, but it's to do with looting enemy bags. I see a lot of people, they're just stood there out in the open looting a bag, just sticking out like a sore thumb. What I want you to do is go prone inside the bag. It's going to make you a much harder target to see than a person just standing out in the open. Even if it's just crouching behind some cover, just making yourself a harder target to hit. Also, you could just like run around and kind of just go in and out of the menu for the bag just to check if there's anything in there. If you are really like getting shot at, or you think there's people looking at you and stuff, you can do that. But ideally, I like to just lie down, and I rarely ever get shot when I'm looting. I don't think I've ever been shot whilst I'm looting down in a bag. They're very hard to see, especially if you kill someone in the long grass. People won't be able to see the bag, so if you're lying down in it, they won't be able to see you. But yeah, let's move on to the next mistake. The seventh mistake is one that I see very frequently, and it's when someone gets a really good gun, it's stacked with attachments, for example like a gold Titan, it's got all the attachments possible on it, and then they find a gun that they prefer like a Rampart, but they don't take the attachments and detach the attachments off the Titan before picking up the Rampart. So they're switching out a gun stacked with attachments for a gun with no attachments on it. It's really easy to do. All you have to do is before you put down the Titan, you can actually just go into your inventory, hover over the weapon, and then hold square. That's going to detach all of the attachments, drop them on the floor, and it's also going to drop the weapon on the floor. So you can pick up the gun that you want. If it's a Rampart, whatever the gun is, it doesn't matter. Pick it up, and then you can attach all of the attachments to it straight away. The eighth mistake is using 2D sound. Now, if you're someone that uses your television or your monitor for its audio, then you're at a massive disadvantage to everyone with a headset or using earbuds. It doesn't even need to be a fancy headset. I just use my Samsung earbuds and I can hear everything perfectly. But when you're using 2D sound, you won't be able to tell if they're behind you, at the side of you, at the right of you, anything like that. When you have earbuds in, you can literally hear everything, and the sound in Blackout is obviously so vital, because if you can hear someone before they can hear you, you're at a massive advantage over them, and you're most likely going to kill them. And it's like, if you're using 2D sound and you're just running around and you literally can't hear anyone, you're screwed. You're going to get absolutely battered by the kid with his Astros on, cranked up to the max volume. So just use some earbuds, and I'm telling you now, you'll notice a massive difference to the amount of kills and like how high you get into the game and the amount of wins you get. The final mistake that literally every single noob makes is using controller vibration. Now, I used to use it, but when I turned it off, oh my god, I became a god at long range shooting. So when your controller's vibrating all over the place, you don't really notice it in normal Call of Duties because you're not shooting at really long ranges, but in Blackout, that vibration is going to make your thumb on your right thumbstick move a tiny little bit, but that slight little movement is going to put you off the accuracy, and it's going to really affect your accuracy, and just turning it off can mean like a one-shot difference. And in Call of Duty, hitting someone one extra time can literally be the difference between you getting a kill and you dying. So if you can get that on point, it's definitely worth doing. I know a lot of people just say they can't play without vibration, but honestly, just try it. I was one of those people that said that it felt horrible, and that's just because you're used to vibration. But as soon as you get used to not having vibration, you'll begin to love it. So yeah, that's all of the mistakes that I've noticed noobs make. There's obviously some more, but yeah, I'll cover them in other videos. I have plenty of tips and tricks videos on Blackout and just Black Ops 4 multiplayer, so definitely go and check them out. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to smash a like on it, comment down below if you remake any of these mistakes. And if this video helped you, subscribe to the channel for the best Call of Duty content, just like news, tips and tricks, all that good stuff. It's been TheGIBBYNATR, and I'll see you in the next video, lads. Peace.